Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll do roll call.
Roll call. Paul Cassidy.
Yes, here.
Tanya Hogan. Here. Beverly Rose.
Here.
John DeBoyer.
Here.
Mark Burchard.
Here.
Roy Martin.
Here.
Sarah Clemens. Here.
All right, we'll move on to public comments on agenda items only, please, at this time.
Ms. Restivo was hired with limited experience. When a board member mentioned her inexperience, she immediately promised to make sure that she would become qualified on her own. So taxpayers shouldn't have to foot the bill for that promise. Just 6 months in, she is asking taxpayers to pay for a program that she promised to do on her own and isn't required for her current position. Given her short time of employment and our uncertain financial status, approving this simply does not make sense. In November, I raised multiple serious concerns regarding township issues, including 3 of the resolutions on today's agenda. I also submitted for your request to you, Tanya. You asked for more time to respond, and when you did, rather than answers, I received a fee calculation bill in the amount of a few $100s. Simply put, no payment, no information. I requested a fee waiver, which was denied. Without that information, I'm not as prepared as I'd like today, but after a quick review of the water and sewer rates, here's what I found. The resolution titled Establishing Water Rates does not actually establish any rates. It says the rates shall remain unchanged, does not identify a rate year, and uses effective immediately, language that is ambiguous for billing. Both water and sewer rate resolutions expired, and the township continued billing residents without current adopted rate authority. Can retroactively legalize charges imposed during the charges imposed during those lapse periods? Posting these items last Friday does not change the fact that rate authority has already expired. Adopting open-ended or effective immediately resolutions avoids rather than resolves the lapse. The board must first acknowledge the expired rate periods on record. It is my understanding that only then can board lawfully adopt prospective rates and address how past charges will be corrected or reconciled. I have not had a chance to review the amended General Appropriations Act, but if I had received the information I requested, I would have been able to do so. As a resident, having to inform you and the board of these serious issues is very disappointing. But to raise the alarm in a FOIA, only to be handed a bill for doing so, is outrageous. If that weren't bad enough, you said that you took a FOIA class and that you are required to charge me, which is untrue. FOIA definitely allows fee waivers when disclosure of the requested information is in the public interest, especially when it is likely to contribute significantly to public understanding of the operations and activities of government. This is no way to run our township, and I'm thoroughly disgusted with it.
If there's no further public comment, we'll move to bills payable. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve bills payable in the amount of $133,644.59.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I have one question. Lance, did you get a chance to review the staking out there at the cemetery for the,
Yes,
you're good with it?
yes.
Okay.
The only thing we're going to do is we're going to buy stainless steel washers to put on each one of the corner posts that they put in the ground, and we're going to stamp them with the section numbers. That's the only thing that we're going to do different.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any further discussion? We'll do a roll call.
John DeBoyer.
Yes.
Mark Burchard.
Yes.
Tanya Hogan. Yes. Paul Cassidy.
Yes.
Beverly Rose.
Yes.
Roy Martin.
Yes.
Sarah Clemens.
Yes.
We'll move to the supervisor's report.
On December 8th, Ms. Clemens wanted to know the outcome of the hostile work claim made by Anita Rapezza. This board voted to hire a company to do an investigation of the claims made by Ms. Rapezza. The board voted to hire HRM Services out of Lansing. On the 8th, you asked about what was going on, so the next day I emailed Ms. Hall, the investigator, requesting that she would, if she could, appear before the board to give us a report. On December 15th, she emailed me back and said I had given that to the clerk on November 20th. And then I asked the clerk for a copy, and I got one. I reviewed the report, and I want to comment on it. One part of the report, she was pretty critical of me, in that she said, she interviewed me, and she put here, when asked whether he was familiar with the contents of the formal complaint that Ms. Rapezza submitted to the board, he stated he had not seen it and didn't know what it was. This statement lacks credibility because he was included in the email distribution when Ms. Rapezza sent her complaint to board members.
Her name's Rizeppa, by the way.
Rizeppa, I'm sorry. Also read the complaint letter aloud during the September 11th Township meeting, but I then asked her, and I tell her that please read it to me again, which she did. When she called me, she told me what she was doing, and I told her I never saw a letter, report, or any document claiming a hostile work environment. She told me that Ms. Rizeppa read it at our meeting and emailed me a copy. I was obviously aware of that, yet I told her to read it to me again. When she finished, I asked her what it was that she was investigating. She told me a hostile work environment claim. And I asked her, why are you investigating that? She said, I said, I know the law on hostile work environment, and that letter, read and filed with the township, does not mention a single fact that would support a claim of a hostile work environment as recognized by the law. Harsh words between workers, while we don't want that to take place, it's totally irrelevant to a claim of a hostile work environment. Even if harsh words are loud or boisterous, it's not relevant. A legal hostile work claim must and I will use the language of Ms. Hall, be based on a person's protected class. In other words, it must be based on a constitutionally protected class, like race, religion, sex, natural origin, or age. Nothing in that letter supported or even suggested that anything that ever happened was based on race, religion, sex, natural origin, or age. I told Ms. Hall that I didn't think it made sense to investigate this matter when nothing was submitted suggesting even a claim, a prima facie case of hostile work environment. As a board, we voted to spend $3,700 to $4,700 to investigate a matter when the complaint on its face did not make a legal claim of hostile work environment under the law. I voted against spending the money because when she did that, and I heard the complaint made, she'd make a claim as a protected person. We still voted for this investigation. I knew from the start this was a waste of money because I knew there was no claim of a protected class infringement. I think it's a serious matter to accuse someone of subjecting another person to a hostile work environment. Jerry Golka was accused, and this board spent public funds to investigate him. I don't know, is there anybody who thinks we should apologize to Mr. Golka for this false accusation?
Just
The
because they...
conclusion, if I might continue.
Oh, I
Oh,
thought you were
sure.
asking us a question.
Yeah.
Oh, so I can't answer.
Well, you did.
That was rhetorical.
Oh,
But you
so
should
this is
read
a
the whole
question and answer?
report instead of just
Okay, I
one.
forgot, this isn't question and answer.
But you
Okay.
should read the whole report and not just one
Okay.
little snippet. But don't worry, I
So
will.
the conclusion is, in the report, that there's no hostile work environment. Now, I see we have Agenda 1E on the report, and I'm not sure where we're going with that, but I just think, as I did at the time this all came about, harsh words or acrimonious situations are one thing. They can certainly lead to what I told Mrs. Hall, a toxic work environment, where people don't like each other and have bad feelings or hurt feelings or whatever. But that's totally different from a legal hostile work environment. It's just not even close, unless it's pertaining to a protected class. To move on, I think we should put out, and I'm talking about the Harson's Island plant at this point, we should put an RFP out for an engineer. Discussions with our attorney has led me to believe that we need a company more suitable to review the work of Bennett if we agree to have them build a sewer plant. We need a company with more expertise than PCE, and I don't think PCE really wants anything to do with that plant. But I think Ms. Hogan and Ms. Rose would agree that we should put it out for an RFP, and there are several companies, if we do, that can take a look at it. As far as a FOIA is concerned, I don't know how many FOIAs this woman has filed with our township. I know numerous, and she's never once wanted to pay and never once presented any evidence that she shouldn't have to pay. And so for that reason, I think it's unfair that she would criticize our clerk on that issue. Other than that, we could move on to the consent agenda.
So we can't respond to that supervisor's report?
No, you can at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
We can talk all we want.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. We'll move to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion on that?
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda containing the board-approved checks, the in-between meeting checks, the Board of Trustees minutes from 12/8/25, the assessing classes for Board of Review, and the other class is a yearly class that they are required to take.
We have a second on that?
I'll support.
All right. Is there any need for discussion?
What is Tuzinowski Landscape Company for $13,000?
Demolition.
Oh, demo for,
I have
okay.
the
Yep,
bill
that
if
was
you'd
for
like
the
to see.
dangerous building, the Island Drive house.
Okay.
All right. Take a roll call vote?
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Move to unfinished business, the road memorandum. In discussions with Mr. Hazelton, he says they could do half next year and the other half the following year of Folkert. I've talked to other people about potentially looking at the end of Island Drive. I think other than that, I'm not aware of any other issues. I know the people on Island Drive have contacted me and would like to have us do something there, but the road funding would cover us for next year and the year after on Folkert. I told Mr. Hazelton I'd get back with him and let him know. And obviously, nothing's cast in stone. We can,
So my question would be, what was the amount that we budgeted in our township budget for roads this year?
$175,000.
175,000. So this program through the county will pay for up to 131,000 a year, is that correct?
No.
No, that's not correct?
$131,000.
That's what I said,
Oh, I'm sorry.
131,000.
Yeah.
So is there a reason that we couldn't do all of Falker in 1 year?
We
And use
could.
our township road money to pick up the balance?
I think we could, but if we can do it over 2 years, it'll come out of that fund that we don't have to spend any money at all.
Well, I can tell you, it's going to be cheaper to do it in one piece than it is to do it piecemeal it.
Well,
So Mr. Hazelton told me that we're probably looking at $250,000 approximately to pave the entire road. So that means we'd have to come up with $120,000 to pave the entire road. If we've got $175,000 in our road budget, we could do all of it in one piece if that's something the board was interested in.
well, it could, and then next year, with the money we get, we could do Island Drive.
Well, that still leaves $55,000 in our current budget,
No, I know.
so we
But
could,
We
I
might
don't
be
know
able
what,
to do-
I don't know what the cost is to do Island Drive, but
No, I don't either.
I know we have to commit to this by the end of this month, so.
I know that someone came in, Chris O'Regan was speaking during comments for the Safe Street grant as well. That would go in. I looked into it a little bit, and it looks like there's $982 million left out of the $5 billion that goes through 2026. So that does require an application and that a grant be written and prepared. So I don't know if we have somebody that can,
Is that anything you
Write a
looked
grant.
into? Paul?
I can tell you
Safe
that
Streets grant?
I'm looking into what I think our best avenue at this point is SEMCOG. But you got to go on the board on SEMCOG to get the money. But I think if we went with SEMCOG, we might be able to even get sidewalk money for,
So you don't feel Safe Streets is a good option?
that's a grant for
I looked at
sidewalks.
Safe Streets, it is an option. The way that grant, that they publicize that grant, makes it sound like it only applies to streets, but I investigated and found out the sidewalks, but we have to jointly work with the school system to provide a plan.
Is that correct?
Yes,
Really?
yep. We have to provide a joint plan with the school. board
Okay.
to do
I still
that.
think it's something we should at least look at and see if it's
Well,
a,
I have been looking at it, but like I said, we have to, it requires two different plans. And the
Okay.
first plan is like a joint plan with the school for safety. And
That doesn't-
They want things, and I've looked at it, we do qualify as a, in terms of our medium rate of income, we do qualify because we're considered lower income. And so that would help us, but I can tell you with SEMCOG, we got to get on the board there, because in talking with people, they say you got to get on the board if you're going to get money.
and when you say we qualify, do you mean the township
Yes,
or the school
township.
district?
Any area.
Township?
Including Algonac. But that school board system with Safe Streets, that's going to have to be with the school system as well.
Well,
I'm looking into it. I'm seeing if
Yeah,
we
definitely
can
be
do
worth
it.
a look.
I'll make an application, but I'm waiting to find out.
I would agree, Falkert would be priority one, in my opinion. Sword out between Marsh and
McKinley,
McKinley would probably be my second choice.
mine too.
But
It's bad.
I drove some of them and looked at them.
So what do we gotta do to lock that in, do the whole
Well,
road
before
Falkert?
December 31st, Bill Hazelton needs an email. I don't know if that's something our supervisor can do or not, but I asked him if we need an official resolution. He said no, just a communication from the township saying that we want to move forward. The county would do the bid process. We wouldn't have to do that. So, and then they would come back and give us an estimate, and if we want to put it out to bid, a bid, and then we can choose to move forward if we want to.
I asked him if we needed anything more he needed anything more from us, and just let me know if you want it. That's all he said.
So is that something you could email before
Yeah,
December
send it
31st?
tomorrow.
So why don't we do the whole Falkert Road, if it's in our budget, for next year, and then leaves us money for the following year to do another road?
Well, like I said, it would still leave 55,000 in our current budget year
We could
to
even
do.
at Island Drive.
I don't know what our costs would be, but it does leave some money still.
I make a motion on that, Roy?
I'll make a motion that we approve the road funding for Falkert Road, to do the entire road, if it's, as long as it meets our budget, don't exceed our budget. And then, if there's any budget left, look over into Island Drive. See what we can do there.
I'll support that.
All right, we'll take a roll call.
Okay. Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
All right, go to new business 1A, sanitary system improvement, small diameter. We've got a bill for $189,000. I think you've read the backup information. I think we need a motion to pay it.
I will make a motion to pay BLD 2024 sanitary system improvement CIPP lining small diameter fifth pay application in the amount of $189,405 from GL line 591-205.03.
Support.
590.
Oh, 590, not 591.
All right.
One question, so would this be the final payment on this bill?
No.
No?
No, as a matter of fact, I have a project update for you. As soon as I get to it. So for the sanitary small diameter, this project currently is 75% complete. Work is progressing well on it, and the remaining lining activities will continue until completion.
All right, want to take a roll call?
Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes.
Go to 1B, Paymar M29 water main replacement, first pay application, $247,154.85. Do we have a motion on that?
I will make a motion to pay the first pay application for Paymar M29 water main replacement in the amount of $247,154.85, coming from GL line 591-250.03.
Support.
Any discussion?
I have an update on that project as well. This project has recently begun. The initial directional bore beneath the St. Clair River has been completed, and that includes reaming to full diameter. The water main itself has not been pulled in yet, but that's beginning on January 5th, 2026. The contractor will initiate the pull of the 14-inch water main from the Harson's Island side to the mainland side. This operation is expected to take up to 24 hours, and once they start pulling, they can't stop. So they're going to work continuously around the clock until that main's all the way across, beginning on that date.
Is that at the end of Island Drive?
Yes,
Okay, and it's going through a lot on the other side, right?
yes, just north of Beardsley?
Yeah.
Or no, that'd be south, wouldn't it, I guess?
Yeah.
Just upstream of that, and it took them probably 4 weeks to get there. Currently, that water main is going to be approximately 40 feet below the bottom of the river. Previously, there was a Comcast line, a fiber line that was drilled many years ago in the same vicinity. And in order to comply with maintenance distance, we had to be 20 feet away from that. So that was buried at about 20 to 21 feet. So they decided to stay below it to make sure they wouldn't hit that. So that's why it's so deep in that
Is
area.
that what all the equipment is there for, to do that job?
Yeah, that's the big drill rig.
Yeah, okay.
One of the biggest in the country, to be honest with you, yes. And the contractor that was subcontracted through Paymar, they've drilled this river before, so they were very comfortable with the materials that they knew they would experience. And so they've done a good job over there. It took them quite a while to get through, but this pullback, it's ready to go. So there will be some traffic interference on 154 on Harson's Island. I'm currently working on devising a detour route that'll take them, sorry, I don't know the streets very well over there, but there's a street that connects 154 like in the middle. I forget the name of that street. But we're planning on using that. But at the same time, if at any time they need to get traffic through that spot where that water main's going to be crossing the road as it's being pulled in, they have these cradles that can lift it up to allow emergency vehicles or anybody that's actually kind of trapped on the wrong side of it, they can lift it up and they can travel underneath it. So we've got a couple of different plans for traffic control over there.
So with the 24 hours, how many homes do you think will be affected in that time period? Any, or?
Yeah, we've got there's probably 8 homes that we're going to have to notify directly
Okay.
to have them park on, like, get off of their street and park on the other side of, I believe that's Golf Course Road, just to make sure that they're not trapped behind that pipe as it's traveling along the end of their road. But that's, we should be by that in the first couple hours,
Okay.
so not too bad of a problem for them.
And you'll communicate all that to the township, right, Bill?
Yeah.
As far as who's
Yeah.
affected and when?
Yeah. Every time a notice is sent out for, it doesn't matter the project, if there's water interruption or traffic interruptions, they're always notified. The township, that is.
All right, we'll do a roll call.
Okay. Roy Martin,
Yes.
Sarah Clemens,
Yes.
John DeBoyer,
Yes.
Mark Burchard,
Yes.
Tanya Hogan, yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
We'll go to 1C FDM Water Main Interconnect with IRA for a payment of $668,365.93. Mr. Meldon, can you add about that?
Okay, this project is nearing completion at approximately 80%. All the required testing, water main tie-ins, individual water service connections have been completed. Remaining work consists of final restoration and closeout activities. They've currently cleaned up all the driveways and parking areas that they were using for staging areas. I did have a conversation with them today about making sure that they've got all their materials and equipment well off the road in an isolated location, because they're not going to come back until after the first of the year also. So I didn't want that equipment just sitting around blocking, obstructing views. And I anticipate probably another, maybe about a month, and then they won't be able to do anything else until pavement's allowed. So the rest of the restoration for driveways and roads will be done in the spring.
All right, do we have a motion?
I will make a motion to pay the first pay app to FDM on the water main interconnect with IRA in the amount of $668,365.93 coming from GL 591 970.00.
I'll second that motion. No further discussion, we'll do roll call.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
We'll move on to the Algonac Water Plant chemical purchase, $20,000, Water Solutions Unlimited. Maybe Mr. DeBoyer could add something about this.
Well, I can tell you, I talked to Josh at the water plant. He says that this will get him to the end of their and our fiscal year, which would be the end of June. He doesn't anticipate it exceeding $20,000. We would pay 64.3% of that. That's our share of the cost of the plant. But I just wanted to throw this out there, because I know there's been some discussion both at the Algonac level and at the township level in the past. I asked Josh what he spends in fluoride, and he said 25% of his chemical budget is fluoride, plus an additional $6,000 a year in testing for fluoride. So I know there was discussion about possibly removing that from our plan at one time. I don't know if there's any interest in doing anything like that or having that discussion, but I wanted to throw that out, that it's when it comes to the chemical cost, it's pretty significant on the chemical and the testing. So I just wanted everybody to know that.
I do know that the St. Clair County Director of Health Department, that doctor is very much against adding chloride, or the fluoride into the water.
Right.
Have you talked to him about any of that or not?
At the Algonac plant, do you mean?
Yeah.
No, we didn't have that discussion.
Okay.
Anybody
I just-
know what the process is
just
for
wondered if you know.
removing the fluoride from the water?
Yeah, you just don't feed it. It's a chemical that's fed into the water when they process it.
Well, I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about the process for permission.
For permission? Well, I think that'd be up to,
You have the residents. you have
yeah, I think that would be
St.
up to the township and the city's constituents.
Clair. So, they would have to buy in for it, and maybe somebody out there that doesn't want it, or would want it.
Yeah, that'd be up to our constituents to decide, I think. I just wanted to throw that out there so you guys were aware of that.
If it was just a matter of shutting it off, let's do it tomorrow.
Quit feeding it, right?
We have a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve the chemical purchase order of $20,000, Water Solutions Unlimited for Algonac Water Plant.
Support.
chemicals.
Any further discussion? We take a roll call.
John DeBoyer?
Yes?
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
All right, we move to 1E, electric pole proposal, $3,269.30.
I'll make a motion to support or approve the electrical proposal for $3,269.30 out of line item 101-265-760.
I'll support that.
All right, have we ever used them in the past?
We have not.
We haven't, but the police and fire both use them for all of their policies to stay in compliance,
With their what? So for their policies?
for their policies and
Policies
procedures.
and training.
And their training. What Lexipol does is they stay up to date and will update your policies as the state law requires it to be. Bev and I have found that a lot of our policies are out of date in our policy book, and that's something that we really need to get under control, and we have to have up-to-date policies. One, to stay in compliance with the state, and two, it just helps the workplace overall, and Lexipol does provide trainings along with their service of keeping all of our policies up to date.
That
So-
satisfies my question that I asked you via email. Thank you. Well, all I can tell you is that 8 years ago, we had this, I opened the policy book up, and it hasn't changed at all for the past 8 years. And prior to that, it probably hadn't changed for 10 years, so.
It's April 2011 is the last time the employee handbook was updated.
And then our policies most of them are from 2016.
So would this be an annual fee, or would this be a one-time charge with a update per year, or?
There's a one-time charge, if we agree to this by December 31st, they've taken it from $1,000 to $500, and that's to upload everything. And then they start working. There is an annual fee. I think if we lock it in for a couple years, we get that discount, but they said to count on about a 4 to 5% increase, just like the police and fire do.
Is that going to include hard copies or is it going to be electronic?
Everything is electronic.
So we can do printout.
You can
Yes.
print out whatever policy you need.
I
You
did
also
notice that
sign.
it continues unless we cancel them. They'll
Correct.
automatically continue.
Yes.
So does that number come down after the first year, Bev, or does that?
Does not come down.
It does not, okay.
I gave you that.
So if you look, it would be, for the first year, it would be quoted at $2,700. And then they said that you can expect like a 3 to 5% increase. They're not 100% sure on what that will be, but we could get locked in for, didn't they say 2 years? We can get a locked-in price for 2 years and then expect an increase.
If you look at the order summary, the $2769.30 is the yearly cost. They gave us a 10% discount. That $500 is the onboarding service. So actually, the total cost for a year is $2769.30.
Do a roll call?
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Assessing, 1F, the assessing level 2 certification class, request for payment for Cheryl Restivo, take a certification class. We have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2 certification classes for the assistant assessor Cheryl Restivo, $1,000 out of line item 101-257960.
I'll second it.
Do we have discussion?
Yes, go ahead.
Although I have no problem with education, I really don't. Cheryl doesn't spend her 40 hours a week in assessing. She's pulled out a lot when the supervisor's in. And she missed the December board review meeting. Showed up 35 minutes after they started. I would like her to have more time in assessing, actually in assessing, the 40 hours she's getting paid for it before we send her to any more training.
I agree. I think that I have concern that we talked about, I think, the last 2 meetings ago, about is she spending her entire time in assessing instead of her work as the deputy supervisor, and I don't think we got a clear answer. Whether or not the work is being done is kind of not the point. It's she's being paid for a 40-hour job, and that 40 hours needs to be in the assessing department and not as deputy supervisor.
And when she was interviewed, she said that she would be available Fridays and after hours, but I'm finding that's not happening. I'm finding that there's a lot of other things that she does that has absolutely nothing to do with the assessing. And my concern is, if something happens to our assessor and she's filling in, can she do it?
Well, why is our supervisor pulling her out knowing that,
She's his deputy.
well, I understand that, but she has a 40-hour-a-week job that
She does her
requires her
work.
to be
So
there.
should you sign it out?
You check with Bonnie.
So the
Bonnie
agreement
satisfied with her work.
when Ms.
I don't think that's the
Restivo
issue.
was hired, that the deputy supervisor duties would be done by her in the absence of the township supervisor. Is there a reason that?
Well, actually, the
Is
state
there a
law,
reason that the township supervisor is pulling out the deputy from assessing while you are here?
There's not that much time.
Can you answer my
20
question?
minutes here or there, 20 minutes here or there, that's removing.
How much time is it?
For a substantial amount of
How
time.
much time is it in a week?
I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes a day?
Is he here 40 hours?
15, 20 minutes a day,
Yeah.
How does she
okay?
document
Well, that's
hours
not,
and
that's
time?
not, well, let me ask you this. If any other 40-hour-a-week employee was not here 15 to 20 minutes a day, would we pay them?
Well, you again are suggesting that she's not getting her work done, and she does get her
No,
work done.
that's
I
not
didn't
what was
suggest
said.
that.
She's not salary, she's hourly,
Union hourly, correct?
So
absolutely.
she's actually getting paid to do two jobs.
So
Get
can I-
paid
can
for
I-
deputy.
can I ask
She does
why-
work outside being here.
Can I ask
She's
what-
worked on Fridays with me, not here, but she's been with me on Fridays.
Can I ask what changed, Paul, that our agreement was? Her duties as a
Well,
deputy would be in your absence?
Yeah, no, John, I think that this concern that she's not spending enough time doing assessing is wrong. I think she's doing it.
Well,
She's getting the job done. and
You
Bonnie
may say
has
that,
no
but she did
complaint.
miss Board of Review because
Bonnie
she
has
was
no
with you.
complaints?
So far as I know,
Bonnie has no complaints?
not that I know of.
But we're still paying her as a township to do two jobs as one, and that's not right.
Well, we
She either gets paid for
deputy.
deputy supervisor, or she gets paid for assessing. That's where it's gotta come out of. You don't get paid to be a lawyer and a judge and then all in the same paycheck.
Can I ask,
Listen, she wants to take the course. It benefits for her to move up a level. She does her work, she gets it done. You want to not do it? Don't do it.
But
Can I
if
ask
she can do
what-
this in such a short amount of time, why are we paying her to do it over 40 hours if she only needs 20 to do it?
What's that?
Why are we paying her for 40 hours if she doesn't need to do 40 hours? Why is it a full-time position? Why isn't it a part-time position if she only needs
Listen, I
part-time
didn't
hours?
start it. You know, it's what it is.
can I ask
Well,
what you...
no, it's what
Yeah,
you're
go
making
ahead.
it. It's
Can I ask
not
you,
what
Paul,
it is.
what is it that you pull her out for during the workday to consult
Well,
with?
sometimes,
And you don't have to be specific,
no,
but...
no. Sometimes we discuss, for example, some of the items on the agenda and things like that. And, you know, I've discussed the budget with her on occasions. I think we brought her in for the discussions with, for an engineer, whether we should do that. But generally, she's spending 99% of her time doing her job as a assessor.
Well, that's
It
not
appears
necessarily
as-
true.
Well, you can dispute it.
Well,
Well, she's there here.
where I sit, I see what goes on.
Well, so
She
do I.
she is
But
pulled,
you're not here every day, Paul, for 8 hours a day.
I'm not here for 8 hours a day
No,
either.
you're
I'm
here
for
like 10 to 12.
Okay.
But she does a lot of things. She's looking at the flooring in the office. She's planning the 55 and old over things. And those things have nothing to do with assessing. Those things should be done outside of the assessing.
Isn't that Parks and
She does
Recreation?
run it. She does do things.
Wait, so
after
our,
hours.
wait, so our deputy supervisor, so our assistant assessor is also deputy supervisor when our supervisor's here and consulting in public Parks and Recs?
Yes.
And when the supervisor's not here.
I was under the impression, and I voted to hire her in assessing, but I know assessing needs 40 hours a week for the assistant assessor.
Well, if she's doing her work, maybe it does, maybe we need a 20-hour-a-week assistant assessor then. I don't know. Maybe Bonnie could answer that for us, but it sounds to me like somewhere there's some shortfalls.
I would just like to see if she's more dedicated to assessing before we spend the money for training.
Why don't we talk to Bonnie and see what she thinks?
Well, I think the big issue is Cheryl needs to have the time in there to learn the job. So yes, she's getting things she knows how to do done, but she needs that time and experience in the department to be able to excel at the job and be able to do more, because that's how you learn, is by doing.
And I've had
And
her
if she's
come
getting
in.
pulled, then it might not be, she might not be taking advantage of the time she has to sit down with Bonnie and go over some things that maybe she can.
I would think that all we need is basically accountability she needs to stay in the assessing department 40 hours. Anytime she's pulled out of there or whatever, she needs to document the time and what it was for you or whoever, and get back to where the time is spent basically in assessing most of the time. I see on a training situation that those classes start at 6 p.m. at night, and they run for, I believe, 10 or 12 weeks. So I don't have a problem with that. So 6 p.m., everybody's out of here by then, or wherever she does it at home, but she needs to be accountable for that, accountability, and if she's going to fulfill those obligations on those classes. So there's a couple of things with accountability, paperwork, let's see it in hand, see what it is.
Wow, it's either a 40-hour-a-week job or it's a part-time job.
Well,
No, so we're pulling our assistant assessor out to be a deputy supervisor for a supervisor who is, how many hours do you put in a week, Paul?
Well, here's the thing, all right?
10,
We have
15
Anita.
hours?
We have Anita, right? She's a deputy treasurer.
That's a totally
right?
different situation, though.
She's
Like, the
legally
other departments are
obligated to be here
extremely different than the
Full-time, and she's also
situation
a
you've
deputy
created.
Treasurer,
the
correct?
No, she's a
Anita does not
deputy
do my
treasurer.
job. Anita doesn't do my
Who
job.
works in the treasury department?
And
You are
they're
taking
required
two
by law to
different
have
departments
deputies,
and
you are not.
comparing them, and they're not two comparable situations. You're
So-
saying
so Paul-
your deputy is in a different department.
Well,
So, Paul-
we have a motion.
No, I got a question for you. So you're part-time at the very best, right? How many hours would you say you come in a week?
Yeah, I can't tell you how many hours I
10?
work.
10?
How many hours I work, but
5?
this isn't an inquest here.
No, so we've got a deputy supervisor working with you hand in hand when you're part-time.
Listen, I'm telling you, she does 99% of her time.
Of your job.
Spent in assessing. 99% of her time's in assessing.
How do you know that?
Because I know it.
You're not here 40
I
hours a
talk
week.
to her a lot.
Is that true, Bev? Tanya, is she in assessing 99% of the time?
I think she is.
I wouldn't say 99% of the time.
Okay, 95.
But at the same time, is she then checking Paul's
95.
emails and all of that too? At the same time, she's supposed to be checking only her stuff and assessing? Because we know she checks her emails and stuff
Sometimes when I pull it
too.
out Is when I have trouble with the computer, not knowing how to do what's got to be done on a computer. So sometimes I'll pull her out and say, hey, show me how to do this.
But I have a 40-hour-a-week job that I'm salaried. I can't take away from that job that I am paid to do township work. I have to do that separately on my own time. And that's how her being your deputy should be.
Well, we can hire
Don't we
Dave
pay
to do DPW work while he's a police officer.
Hey, don't we pay a tech company for computer things?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Just call them.
I do.
Well,
I'm just telling you, you know. Well, okay, we're at a point. Do we have a motion on this issue or not?
There is a motion and a second.
All right. Take a roll call.
Roll call, Paul Cassidy,
Yes.
Beverly Rose,
No.
Roy Martin,
No.
Sarah Clemens,
No.
John DeBoyer,
no.
Mark Burchard,
No.
Tanya Hogan, no.
Okay, we'll go to 1G, resolution establishing water rates. We have a motion on this?
I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-26, establishing our water rates.
I'll support that.
Any discussion?
So obviously, we know that this is something we're going to have to address in the near future.
Yes, this is,
Not only to address our bonding, but just our normal increase in expenses.
yes.
I know you guys, Bev and Tanya, you guys are working with Waterworth, and you're close to having some answers.
Absolutely.
Yes.
On the 7th, I've had to send them a lot of information, like a year or so was missing that wasn't submitted to them.
A year or
And
so?
with all, yeah.
Of
with all
data?
this- Yeah.
Yes, they were missing
Wonder where that is.
quite a few
stuff,
things from previous years.
Budgets, there are projects we've got, the bond. So that's why things are so slow to happen. Once they have everything and they digest everything and can give us a better picture on what our water rates are supposed to be in order for us to break even, then we can go ahead and set a permanent water rate. Right now, it just took me months to get all that caught up.
So setting the permanent water rate would be sometime in the latter part of 2026.
Yeah,
Yes.
because we're meeting We have a virtual on the 7th.
And how water rate resolutions work is you work with a company like Watersworth, you figure out what your actual cost of service is going to be, and then you put a resolution together and establish your rate, but that rate can be changed at any time by another resolution of the board.
Why don't we include in there the elimination of the $30 fee every bill?
Because that's not on the resolution.
I know it's not. Why don't we
Why
include it?
why would we do
Why
that,
would
though?
we do that?
Well, we have all these water projects.
We have a $13 million
Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
That's how you were gonna pay for the bond.
that's right.
Holy
No,
cow.
not that.
Yes, there's a whole, okay.
Wasn't he paying that out of the bond?
I'm sorry?
That's how he was paying for the
Let's just-
bond, wasn't it?
No.
Isn't there almost $1 million or something because of that $30? Isn't there?
You're talking
Going
about,
up to
wait,
$28.
so you're talking about the debt charge that, well, most of this board wasn't here, but
Yes.
the debt charge that was changed to a capital charge
Right.
that we're currently collecting, is that what you're talking about?
That's it.
So why would we remove that?
Because I believe we got enough funding through the bond.
You believe
to
that?
cover I do.
You believe that based on what?
Well, because of the evaluation that I did and included with.
You did an evaluation?
Watersworth. Yeah.
Did you share that
Well,
with
if
the board?
Watersworth
Yeah, I
gave you
did.
an evaluation,
I
how come they
told
couldn't
you
provide that for
I
Bev and
believe
I
it's
when
gonna
we've
be
been meeting with them?
$18 a bill on water and $18 a bill on sewer
$18 for what, though?
for the capital improvements that we're going to do.
So our capital charge would be $18 instead of 30?
No, he's saying it'd be
Oh,
36.
It'd be
it's
36.
an Increase of $18.
So it'd be 48.
Yeah, so it's going to be an increase of $18 a bill.
Well, then take
I would
the
like to see the data that,
I'll give it to you.
and where did that come from? Was that done in your office, or was that?
I did it, and I
Yeah,
also
well, I'd like
discussed
to,
the matter.
I would like to see Waterworth
And I
and our
discussed it with
treasurer
them.
and our auditors,
Okay,
at
We'll
least
work
take a
on
look
that.
at it, so,
all right.
or maybe we should just, maybe we don't need a treasurer or auditors or Waterworth or anybody, and let you handle it all.
And if you want me to, John.
Not a chance.
It's the first year one.
We have a resolution, right?
We have a motion and a second.
Take a roll
So,
call.
so I still have discussion, I'm sorry. So did I hear Mark say latter 2026, we're going to revisit this?
I can't give you a date. I've given Waterworth everything that they asked for. There was a list of stuff that was missing. And budget time, new budget, line items, the projects we've got going. We took a $9 million bond.
And that's why I asked, Bev,
That's,
because
they needed all of that stuff. So
We will
I don't
have
know
a
how they
better
gave them
idea.
a figure.
But we
because
have
they
to
couldn't give me
understand
one.
that that bond that we secured, principal and interest payments are going to start.
Absolutely, June of next year.
We need to fund that through either our charges or our rates or both.
Absolutely.
I would think it would behoove us to really get into our Waterworth rate study
Absolutely.
very quickly,
Yes.
like January or February at the latest. That's just my opinion.
We have a meeting with them January 7th, and they should be able to give us a timeline then when we will have a number to provide.
Okay.
I know it has to be done very quickly. But it's all catch-up work in what I'm doing that
No,
wasn't.
I
done.
understand. Yeah, I know you're working hard on it. I just didn't want it to go to latter 2026.
It's not going to.
That's a concern.
All right, we'll do a roll call.
Beverly Rose,
Yes.
Roy Martin,
Yes.
Sarah Clemens,
Yes.
John DeBoyer,
Yes.
Mark Burchard,
Yes.
Tanya Hogan, yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes. Do resolution 2025-27 sewer rates.
No change, correct.
Correct.
I'll make a motion that we approve Resolution 2025-27 establishing sewer rates.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
So, the same thing would apply on this, obviously. The
Yes.
only,
Yeah, that's
the
fine.
only caveat is, well, two things. Number one, we do not have a debt charge or a capital charge currently on our sewer bill. And I feel like that's something we need to establish.
Yes, that's something we are talking with Watersworth
Okay.
about as well.
Okay.
Because not only do we have our projects, but we also have the SWUMA project,
Yes.
which they are aware of.
So
we're
Southwater,
working-
those fees will be coming in probably the first part of next year. And we should have some solid answers probably within the next 30 days on where we're going to be as far as our
Perfect.
costs.
Yeah.
So,
Have you done any engineering on that, John?
no, it has not started yet. We just got an estimate on our engineering, and we're talking, we're looking at options on our bonding. And then engineering will probably start in early 2026.
Is it
But how-
anticipated that you'd have to pay for the engineering through the bonds, or would the
Um,
authority be able to pay that without that?
Absolutely not. The authority it's going to be funded through the three communities.
Yeah.
So it would be paid for through the bonding, yes.
Take a roll call.
Roy Martin,
Yes.
Sarah Clemens,
Yes.
John DeBoyer,
Yes.
Mark Richard.
Yes.
Tanya Hogan, yes. Paul Cassidy.
Yes.
Beverly Rose.
Yes.
Go to Resolution 2025-28, amended General Appropriations Act.
I will make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-28, amended General Appropriations Act.
I'll support that.
Any discussion?
So the reason that this is on the agenda is Janet and I started our year-end process, and we noticed that the budget that was entered was missing a couple budgets that were not entered, correct, that just weren't entered, and then the budget was not balancing. I brought this to the supervisor's attention. He said he did not enter the budget. He gave it to Jerry, and Jerry had Manor enter it. And then
Well-
he,
Okay, did you get my email today?
which one? Can I finish?
The one
Can I
that said
finish
that
what
we
I'm
did have
saying,
to
though?
amend a
Can
couple.
I finish my statement?
Oh, go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
thank you. So, they entered the two budget lines that were missing, and then Janet and I had to go through line by line and correct the budget that was input. Our bottom line number was incorrect on the first appropriation that we agreed on, and Janet and I spent hours and hours going line by line to make sure that the budget was entered correctly, and we finally got it to balance. So this resolution is to fix that situation.
So I know you're the clerk and you're the keeper of records. Can I ask why the township supervisor wasn't involved in this?
I did.
Aren't you responsible for preparing the budget?
I did it.
You did it?
I did it. I did.
Did you do it correctly?
I didn't. I sent her an email today telling her we have to amend this from this to this and
But
that.
what you sent me
hold on.
today was one amendment that you want amended. The whole entire budget wasn't balanced that was entered.
The other amendment.
So I had to go through and fix that when that is your job to
There was
do.
only one other one that wasn't balancing, and I
The whole
contacted-
entire budget wasn't balanced. The revenues and expenditures were not entered into balance.
How come we approved it when we saw it at the time?
It wasn't what we approved was fine, but what was entered was not balanced. So it was entering it into the system that was wrong. And then our bottom line number was off.
Okay.
So who entered it incorrectly?
It was either Jerry or Manor,
Okay,
from
but,
what, the information I was told.
okay, but doesn't it come from statutorily the township supervisor who
Yeah, and
prepares the
I thought
budget?
the numbers were correct. I
The nu-
thought they were correct.
So they were incorrect, they were correct, and then they were incorrect, and now we're correcting them again?
They're corrected now, I believe. Yeah.
Yes, because I did it.
Well, okay, you did it.
She was in here for hours and hours and hours on days that she wasn't required to be here working on that.
She was
Both
here
her and
Friday.
Janet.
She was here pretty much most of Friday, getting it completed.
15 hours a week's tough to do the job, isn't it, Paul?
All right, so do we have a motion on that?
Yes.
Okay, take a roll call.
John DeBoyer.
Hold on, I'm not done with discussion.
Okay.
So, how many departments or fund numbers did we correct?
There was just two.
Two. And
Two.
those were what?
let me pull it up real
Fund was
quick.
$11,602.
And which fund was that?
That was 805.
805.
Special
The
assessment.
other
That
one
is-
was 54,000.
That's not-
That was 854.
And what was the 55,000 discrepancy?
The 54,000.
What was that though? Why was it off 54,000?
Because the number hadn't been brought over in the Advantage PSNA paperwork. I discussed it with them, and
You're disgusted with BSNA?
BSNA, yeah,
You're disgusted with them?
yeah.
That's their fault?
Yeah, no.
He discussed
Oh, you
it.
discussed it, I'm sorry.
You're not looking to blame someone, are you, John?
No, but it's nice to,
Oh,
nice to,
okay.
it's nice to have somebody accountable.
Okay.
I guess I'm wondering why Tanya had to be in here to fix this when it
She
should have been. She did, or it wouldn't have been done.
Yeah, I did it.
If it was not
You didn't do it
balanced in
correctly.
Yes, I
BSNA,
did.
if it did
In
not
fact, I did
balance.
it.
Tanya
And then I
wasted
did
15 hours of her time
I
just
did
to
it
come in and do
Friday.
it when she didn't have to do it.
You did not do it Friday.
I did.
What did you do in the general ledger on Friday?
Oh, I didn't go into that.
That's what has to be done.
Where the budget is.
I know it.
That is where the budget
I
is.
looked at
You
the
calling BSNA and
discrepancy.
writing it on a paper does not solve the situation at hand.
Uh,
The work has to actually be done. It has to actually be entered into our system correctly in order for the township to function.
And I did.
So Tanya didn't? You did it?
Oh, I don't know. If she did it, she did it.
Okay.
So you did it, Paul? Did
I
you-
also did it. I took care of it
Did
on
you send that to
Friday.
anybody?
Pardon me?
Did you send it to anybody? Did you make us aware of it? Did any action?
I
Or did you just go in there and
told Tanya that
do
we had
it?
to change a couple, well, a number.
No,
But
Paul,
actually,
you
it's
did
two
not
numbers.
tell me.
In
I
an
told you.
email. In an email.
In an
today.
email at 4 o'clock today, when I had already had all the work done, and I brought it to your attention
Yeah.
that things were missing, and we would not be able to roll over and open in January if this did not get solved.
And that's why
I did the work.
That's why I
not
did it
you.
on Friday.
You were not here on
I
Friday.
know I wasn't.
I was here all day on
I
Friday
took care of
doing
it on
your
Friday.
job.
Well, you
Friday
didn't
was
need
too
to.
late. If the numbers don't match, we have to roll over from 25 to 26. If they don't match, we don't roll over, we don't open January.
So shouldn't that have been something that could have been communicated in office between the three of you guys?
It could have been communicated
So we
in
don't
office
communicate
if
in
somebody
all of us.
communicated
Not
and
at all.
worked as a
We
team.
don't talk at all.
That's a huge problem.
It is. It's-
That-
Beth and
well,
Tanya talked just fine.
Well,
it is, it's-
We're
I
here.
gotta tell
That's a huge
you,
problem, Paul.
every time I come in here with an issue in the township, Paul, you're never here, so I don't know what to tell you.
So do we have, any more discussion?
So, I'll ask you, Bev, you're the treasurer. I'm gonna trust that these numbers are accurate at this point, and we're good for the remainder of our fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay. And this was all on the revenue side, is that correct?
Yes. They were not matching. The revenues and expenditures that were entered in did not match. So we went through line by line, each revenue and each expenditure, and entered in what they were supposed to be to get all these figures that you see here.
Okay. Will it affect any of our budgeted items where it's going to be an issue with these new numbers?
No,
Okay.
the majority of them are the same. The bottom line number was off, and
Well,
then,
The 54,000, was that, did we go plus or did we go negative? With that, did we add or did we subtract out of that line
Carried
item?
it over from last year, but go ahead, Tanya, tell them.
what did
Go
you
ahead.
carry over from last year?
54. Just like the 11,602. The problem with the budget last year, the budget that I had, that's 11,602 was actually a deficit. It was a shortage of funding for that colony. Historically, the board always funded out of 591 that amount of money to that project because it's never collected enough money. So that was one of the problems.
591 to what?
What did I put here?
Where did that go
I brought
to?
it with me. I think it was 591 to, hold on, I'll tell you in a second. 854.
So those were special assessment water bonds.
And they were underfunded, whether it was, for whatever reason, this board has always taken money out of 591 and put it over there into 854, because it's underfunded. It's been
So-
a problem every year, the board has done that.
$2018 Special Assessment Debt Retirement Fund Colony Water is what that is. How do you know it's underfunded?
Because I looked at the history of it.
That's not true.
That's funded by debt revenue.
I don't think special assessment can be underfunded.
Well,
It
this
has to
one
pay
was.
for itself.
This one was, and every year they take it out of the general water fund to throw it over there. That's
Okay,
what's
well,
happened historically.
Let me tell you what was entered into our general ledger. For the 854 fund, this is a fund that is a special assessment that has its own money, and you match it. And it was not matched and it was not entered. So we're not taking 11,000 from somewhere else. This is money that was in that fund from last year that was not entered into our budget, but we did approve. I sent you guys a bunch of spreadsheets showing you the matches. And now it is entered in properly.
Okay. I can tell you when we did our budget workshop and when we voted on our budget in June or July, whatever it was, or May, no, June, I did vote no, and I'll tell you why I voted no. I had a whole stack of all of our funds and all of our numbers, and I could not make heads nor tails of it. And that's why I voted no, because I didn't have a clue what I was voting on. And I blame our supervisor and our treasurer at the time, Jerry Galka, because it was a complete debacle, our budget workshops. So that's why I'm asking you, Bev, are you confident with these numbers
I'm
that we're?
confident with these numbers.
Okay.
Take a roll call.
Mark Burchard?
Yes.
Tanya Hogan? Yes. Paul Cassidy?
Yes.
Beverly Rose?
Yes.
Roy Martin?
Yes.
Sarah Clemens?
Yes.
John DeBoyer?
Yes.
Move on to public comments.
Let us screw up. Can I speak now about it?
Good evening. My name's Bill Hanna. I'm tied to the address 7931 Stark, which is next to Cabana Blue. I'd like to start, wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays on a lighter note. Why am I here today? I'm here today to talk about the island project and what's happening on the island. You know, that building was completed, I think, in 2021. And ever since it was completed, we along Stark Drive have been watching excavation, dredging, etc. And we haven't been here today because we're trying to be good neighbors. We're trying to get along with our neighbor. But as of 2 weeks ago, additional dredging took place that, to me, is beyond comprehension. And I guess, you know, the first question I have, and I spoke to Gary, is his family name Burl? Burl, the building inspector? Who's your building inspector?
Gary Burrow.
Gary Burl. Spoke to him about it, and I asked him the question, you know, who from the township is approving the plans for the dredging on this island and all of the dirt that is coming in? And he told me it's not him. He told me it's you, folks. So one of the questions I want to clarify is who is approving these plans from the township to allow what's ever taking place on this island to take place, predominantly dredging. We're talking tens of thousands of cubic yards of dirt. Go ahead, please, Mark.
Dredging in any waterway would require state DNR, Coast Guard permitting.
Sure does. It's Engel that makes
And we don't approve that.
Well, I have an email from Engel, because I've been wondering what's been going on with this, right? Engel states that they can approve anything that's pulled out of the waterway. They have no approval on where those dredging shavings or dirt goes. That relies totally on the township, according to them, and I have the email here with me today. So I guess, well, my first question is, who is approving? Is it all of you that are approving these plans? Who's approving them? They come from Engel. They submit the plans to the township. The township supposedly says yay or nay, and we go from there. So who's approving it? Nobody. Nobody? Do you want to see my email?
I would think that we'd have to get a hold of the building inspector and find out.
So who is the building inspector?
That's Gary.
That's Gary. I spoke to Gary.
Yeah, so-
He had some trouble.
Well, he may not even be aware of it. I'm not aware of any dredging and pilings being placed.
Gary knows all about them. Gary specifically told me, I don't make that decision. Really? Who in the township makes that decision? I want to show you an example, okay, of what's going on. And again, this has been going on for every year, and, you know, I guess we're taxed, but we don't feel represented on our street. And I'm just going to give you an example. This is where we were after 2 dredgings. They're dated. This is the tip of that island. Okay, this is really what impacts us along Stark Drive. This is in last year, December. And this was there until we have this that occurred 2 weeks ago. This is what we're looking at. The latest permit from this gentleman that he got from Engel, that supposedly was approved by you. I'll get that email as well. And again, I don't want to be confrontational in any way, but we've got to understand what's going on. We feel abused. Look at that. Imagine you have your beautiful waterfront home, and you're looking at this every year. You're bringing your families over for the holiday, and this is what you're looking at. And look at the grade that he just established. So the other question I have, who's monitoring the grade on this island? Where's the synergy with the community? Who's making sure that this land isn't above the residents, which it now is, so that everybody on this public or commercial venue can look down on the 15 homes that line Stark Avenue, the cars that drive on it, their headlights can shine in our house windows. So who's taking care of us? That's what we want to know. So I guess the answer to the first question is, we don't know who's approving these plans in the township. Is that right? Can we put that on the record?
Usually what happens.
Gary denied it.
Is the DEQ and Eagle monitor dredge spoils normally,
Yeah,
and they usually have a plan on how you have to get rid of them.
not Engel.
Yeah, so.
It's right in the email.
Yeah, it's in here.
Right there. Read the email from Engel.
I'm looking at it.
Okay.
I haven't read the email.
And I'm going to ask you another question, do you have any idea what he's dredging this year and next year? The quantity of soil that's coming out of our lakes and going on his island? Do you have any idea?
So,
It's 2,000 cubic yards of soil.
so he's dredging in the waterway and putting it up on
Yeah,
his island.
he has every right, which makes sense. He has the right to dredge his navigational area. So he is now, he's dredged the entire, he was out in the bay. Engel initially gave him, I don't want to long, but he has dredged tens of thousands of cubic yards of soil to fill his island. Every year, it's been going on.
So none of this is being hauled away.
No, it's none of it. And get a load of this. So here's the current plan.
Some of it did get hauled away, because he used it to fill in that.
All right, hold on. We'll get, we'll get to you
So here's
if you want to
the
speak.
latest plan from him, okay? And what he's planning on doing is piling all his dredge and spoils. This is approved by Engel. This is their plan, the documents I received from them. He's piling it at the end of the island, as you have seen. He's also cleared a secondary area at the end of his parking lot. So now these houses that are at the very end of the lot where the driveway ends, they could have giant piles of dredgings there, right? Who wants to look at that? Who wants to have a home? Who wants to bring their neighbors there and say, oh, isn't this wonderful? This has been going on for 4 years. Here's the dredging areas where the dredge spoils can be left. It's up to the township to tell this man what to do and to put a stop to this.
Well, we do have an ordinance that nothing over 3 feet is allowed to be on property.
You're right. Look at those pictures.
Yeah, I saw them.
Look at those
I
pictures.
saw them.
Okay? You know, we want to be good neighbors. We want to reside. We haven't been here. You haven't heard from us. This is getting out of hand. And I have to ask the question, how high can he go? Is there anything governing how high he can take his land? Can he build a mountain? If nobody's stopping him, he can. He can go as high as he wants. Because, again, English stating, it's your responsibility to stop what's going on and to get rid of those dredgings.
Did you correspond with Eagle?
Sure did.
And they said, that's what they said? It's
The email's right there.
Yeah.
Because it's public information. All of it's public information, right? It's digging to get that public information. And it's kind of troubling, again, you know. Look at the quantity of soil he has added with this most recent dredge. And that soil is parked right along the edge of the waterway with water levels that are currently at a minus 15 inch below the nominal average. What's going to happen when high water comes in? Waves coming in, where's all that soil going to go? There's nothing to hold that soil back where it's piled. And the other thing is, I don't think we should be, as residents, as taxpayers, being looking at this every single year. We see as, well, I mean, you can see it. Pictures are there. So, we need to be assured as residents, and I have some of my neighbors here with me, that somebody is going to monitor this and make sure that whatever he's doing is balanced with the community, right? Should his grade be a foot or 2 foot above what the residents are? A foot above. Should they be looking down on the residents that have been there for years? Not really, you know? And it seems nobody's watching him, from what I can gather right here. Nobody's watching him. He's just doing what he wants to do. So where do we go from here? How do we get it cleaned up? You know, those dredging shouldn't even be left there
I will
right now.
tell you that I'll have Roman over there tomorrow to take a look. I think it's in violation of the ordinance. You can send a letter to the owner and say, look, it's got to be removed.
Yes. And no more. Put out. If you look at that island.
We have a chronic problem with some places, and they just don't care.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't?
These other people.
What other people? I don't understand. I don't understand.
There's other locations where business people do things they shouldn't be doing.
Oh, okay, okay. You know, here's the bottom line. I mean, you know, give a foot, take a mile. If you don't watch, they're going to take a mile. And this guy, we shouldn't be looking at that. You know, again, we're all trying to be good neighbors.
Yeah.
So the other thing I would ask you kindly, if dredging permits come through, if you assess that island right now, there's no room to put any more dirt anywhere on that island. He has dirt stacked up to the edge of the wetlands, the designated wetlands, 6 feet. So we get a little rain, we get some weather, all that dirt's washing into the wetland, right? There's a lot of concerns here. What about his plans for the walkway along that Stark Drive?
Sir,
Yeah.
generally, we only give 3 minutes to speak. We've given you a lot of time. and
Yes, you have.
Normally, we don't respond, but we have because we understand your concern.
Mhm.
Why don't you give me your name and address and phone number, and I'll write it down, and I'll be in contact with you.
You know, ideally, what I think I'd like, when's your next meeting? When's your
Not
next
till
meeting?
January.
I'd like to come back in January.
But
And
you're
I-
free to come back at any meeting.
Well, whatever the next meeting is.
January 12th at 6
Well,
p.m.
Yeah, you know, and have answers at that time. We as residents need to be assured that somebody is watching over our interest. And we've been quiet. We've been quiet, you know?
All right.
So we'll see you in January. We'll come back in January, and we need to know what's going on.
Good enough.
Fair
Thank you.
enough? Thank you very much for your time. You guys have a great holiday. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Appreciate it. Can I ask one other quick question? I know you gave 3 minutes.
Well, we don't usually answer questions either, but if you would like to ask.
This is
go
an
ahead.
important one. All that dredging material that came from that lake bottom, has anybody tested that for carcinogens, anything? Anything?
Yeah.
No, you just pile it on there? You just pile it
Nobody
in?
tests anything.
So nobody cares what we're pulling out of the lake bottom and putting?
You know what?
You don't want to talk about it?
I'll get back with you.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I'll explain it more to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Have a great holiday.
Does anybody else have a public comment? Come on up, sir.
My name's Keith Stein. I'm at 7889 Stark Drive.
I'm John Seminis, 7803 Stark Drive.
We appreciate you listening to our concern about what's going on, and we also appreciate Bill representing the interest of the street, and we just wanted to make the board aware that it's not just Bill who's concerned about this. The street's concerned about it, and the last comment he made was probably the most concerning that the street has, and that has to do with the contamination that's being pulled out of the lake, and then we're being subject to inhaling that. And it's a known carcinogenic material, and that's something that we should be protected from. So we ask you respectfully to check into that for us and see what the township can do to protect not only the residents of Stark Drive, but the residents of the community, the people that come out and enjoy our waterfront. The main thing of our master plan talks about how it's the duty of the township to ensure that the waterfront is protected. That's really the basis for our concern. We want to make sure that the waterfront's protected, that our kids and grandkids, and for that matter, ourselves, can go into that water and not have to fear the contamination that's being transmitted through this dredging process. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can't find the emails on my phone. My wife has them. I called on a Monday, early November, and said, I talked to Alexis personally of Eagles, because I have recently built a boat top on my property, so I'm well aware of what to do about running water. I called her on a Monday night. They were dredging and bulldozing with no paper mat up, nothing, right into the water. And Alexis told me they cannot do that, send us pictures, videos. And my wife has it on her phone, she's suffering from cancer, so she's not here tonight. But I can get you the emails and the pictures. The next morning we called and they said it's okay. We have proof of that. I don't have it here with me tonight, but I can bring it back up here. Bulldozers, and I always question the elevation too. He's 40 feet in the ground. My seawall, and the Eagles made me when I had my house built 25 years ago, set the platform for the height. He's well over that, well over it. So he's taking our view away on top of it, plus the smell. Last week in the canal, because of the ice and the flow, there was oil on top of our ice. I've never seen that before. And it's running right into the lake. And you guys all sit up here like it's not us, it's Eagles. I call Eagles, they say it's you guys. So give me, you guys are turning it around to everybody. Not my fault, not their fault. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Scott Walgrave, 7873 Stark Drive. That pile is just directly behind my house, or in front of my house. Every time the wind blows in the summertime, my house gets full of dust. My cars are filthy. I could wash them every single day. And again, we don't know if that's even safe. So what, I called Eagle the other day, and I talked to Andy, and, again, everyone just keeps throwing this back and forth. It's not us, it's not us. And we need to have answers, is this healthy? I can't even see over the thing anymore. My property values went down. Who wants to come in and look at my house for sale with this mess over there? What are we supposed to do on Stark Drive? We can't just keep looking at this and every single year it comes up again and again and again. We'd just like a final answer and have this over with. He put pilings in the water 2 years ago, and the Eagle told me he had to take them out, and they're still sitting there. He's the guy that does first and asks for forgiveness later. So please, keep an eye on this guy, and let's get this straight, what he's trying to do or what he's doing. Because he has ruined everyone's property value back there. I have a brand new neighbor that just moved in from Florida, and he spent a whole lot of money on a house, and this guy's like, what in the world is the township doing here? And again, no answers from anybody. I spend my days, I'm retired, so I try to get a hold of Eagle and Andy and people here, and it just gets to be a big runaround. So if you could please help us, let us know we're safe. Let us know that this dust is blowing in my door wall all over my house is safe. Please.
Thank you. Please stick around after the meeting. I'd like to speak with you if I could.
Okay. Thank you.
So Cassidy, you yourself came into a meeting a while ago and told the board that Mr. Galka may have a hostile work environment because some of the board had yelled at him. You accused John of that. It was a big issue. So, just bringing that up. So 5 recall petitions against Cassidy have been approved by the Election Commission, and we are in full recall mode at this time. Signing a recall petition is a voter's urgent responsibility to remove officials who fail to protect transparency, integrity, and taxpayer interest. And however bad you think it is in the township, it's much worse than you think. So please sign a petition unless you want to see that dude sitting there for another 3 years. So just over a year ago, our township had strong financial management and were fiscally responsible. We had a surplus of funds, a AAA rating, and grant money was as common as candy canes at Christmas. Today, we are in a financial crisis. Our books are so far behind that we don't even know how much money we have and cannot even begin our required audit. If it weren't for the hard work of our previous treasurer, Christie, and our new treasurer, this situation would be far worse than it already is. So how did we get here in one short year? How did the internal safeguards that were in place fail? This crisis didn't happen by accident and wasn't one individual who brought this township to its knees. Tanya, I really do wish you would have disclosed the secret signing of the OHM contract last February when I explicitly told you that it was your legal duty to do so. Instead, you made a conscious decision to remain silent, which made you part of the problem, not part of the solution. Regarding the board members elected last November, you recently stated that you didn't know those people. But you were part of the so-called Party of Five. Cassidy financed your campaign. You attended meet and greet events with them, appeared with them in campaign materials and on billboards. You did not merely know these people, you aligned yourself with them. Yet you want us to believe that you had no understanding of how they would govern? Until there is honesty about determining exactly how this breakdown occurred, who knew what, and when they knew it, then we are not fixing a problem. We are simply rehearsing it, and this township remains vulnerable to the same failures repeating themselves. I do want to say Merry Christmas to all of you, and I want to thank you, thank all those on the board who have helped to keep us afloat during this incredibly tumultuous year. John, I have so much respect for you, as do so many of our township officials, or township residents, because if you hadn't opened your mouth, if you hadn't taken the crap that you had to take from Cassidy every time you did, we'd be in much worse shape. So thank you very, very much. Bev, you came into one hell of a situation, and I really appreciate it very much. Tanya, in all fairness to you, I am sure it could not have been pleasant at all, but I really do think that we have to have some answers so that this doesn't happen again. There were things that were in place, so this shouldn't have happened. It did. Let's get to the bottom of it and get going next year and a fresh new year, hopefully without our center council over there. We really do need a new one. Thank you. God bless. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Move on to board comments. Mr. DeBoyer?
So in response to your supervisor's report, hostile work environment, maybe by definition in our report, was not found, but you left out a lot, Paul. It was a toxic work environment, determined it was a toxic work environment. Jerry Galka, who said he would cooperate with the investigation, did not even respond after multiple phone calls. And in the review, it was made very clear that you weren't honest when she interviewed you.
Yeah.
Well, do we accept the report?
Conclusion you want.
Well, I'm going to go by what the report says.
Oh, okay.
If I have to choose between a professional doing an investigation and you, it's hands down the professional every day. Because you've proven to me that you're not honest.
Go ahead, John.
So that's number one. Number two, in regards to the algae wheel, why would we entertain an RFP for a different engineer? After we went through this big dog and pony show, we were told what a big hurry we were in. These guys were the qualified firm. You brought them in, it was a big old spiel. Why would we change now? I know it's not question and answer, Paul, but can you answer that?
I will when you're done.
When I'm done?
When you're done.
Okay. At the last meeting, I wasn't here, but you made a statement in your board members' comments that the Treasury had contacted you that you need to do a quarterly report on our sewer plant.
I've taken care of that.
Can you explain that to me and tell me what that's about?
Quarterly report? Yeah.
Whatever it was, you made a statement.
I talked to the state, and they said, get back to us in January, and we'll send you the link.
In regards to what?
To file a report with them.
A report about what?
Expenditures, what we've expended in the past year.
Is there a reason our treasurer wouldn't handle that?
I was told by Bev that Artie always handled it, right?
I'm just asking, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's the MEDC.
Yeah.
It's grant reporting.
Grant reporting.
It has nothing to do with sewer plant.
Okay. All right. And I know you guys touched on it at the last meeting. I wasn't here, but I just wanted to say thank you and make it very clear that our ice rink was put together by our DPW and materials and labor were donated by Rich Hobig from Algonac Sand and Supply and Paul Muscat from Cordes Brothers Trucking. And I just want to say thank you because that was a big donation that both those businesses donated to the township. I guess Merry Christmas and Happy New Year is all I have for everybody else then. That's it.
Ms. Clement?
Ms. Clements, I have decided, I don't know if the others on the board will agree with this or not, but I know I brought up concerns about our social media page prior, and I'd like to draft up a policy and have our attorney review it. I strongly believe that only the people that sit on this board should have access to the Clay Township Facebook page. Maybe there's not nastiness being posted on there, but the posts that are on there definitely are not professional. They lack proper grammar. And a lot of the things that have been recently posted, and as a government and a professional body, I think that that's really important, that we're portrayed professionally to the public. And I think there needs to be guidelines into that. I don't think that just anyone, Parks and Rec or deputies, supervisors should be posting on there. I think it should be people in official capacity. And since we're talking about the hostile work environment, I had every intention today of reading the finding and recommendations. Since the letter has not been provided to the public, I'm not going to read the specific interviews with people that were interviewed around the office, but because only some information was given, I think it's really important that the public know exactly what was said during this investigation. I'll summarize the first paragraph, and that Paul was correct in saying that it did not meet the level of being considered legally a hostile work environment because there was no evidence provided of discrimination or harassment against a member of a protected class. However, there is evidence that Mr. Gulka's behavior was often unprofessional and intimidating and violated the township's ethics policy. Several witnesses testified to his displays of anger and lack of civility and respect for both employees and residents, as well as their observations that his interactions had a negative effect on Ms. Rosepa. The creation of an unofficial Facebook page using the township logo entitled Jerry Gulka, Treasurer, Clay Township, was itself a violation of the social media policy. In addition, copies of social media posts by Mr. Gulka included disrespectful and derogatory comments to those posted on the site. Although the township does not appear to have a written progressive discipline plan, Mr. Gulka's issuing of 2 actions on the same date, backdating one of them, demonstrates either a lack of understanding of the purpose of progressive discipline, an intent to intimidate Ms. Rosepa, or retaliation. Properly administered, a progressive disciplinary process aims to correct behavior by giving employees clear feedback with time and opportunity to improve, while providing the employer with documentation to ensure fairness and legal compliance. Given that Mr. Gulka has resigned, no further action is recommended regarding his conduct. Ms. Rosepa does appear to have experienced a stressful and at times intimidating work environment. The township took several actions to address her concerns. First, the disciplinary actions issued to her by Mr. Gulka were rescinded. Second, when she requested a transfer to a different department, it was approved. Third, after Mr. Gulka resigned, when she asked to return to her previous position after less than 2 weeks, this was also approved. Ms. Rosepa states that her work environment has significantly improved, that she has a good relationship with the new treasurer, and that she is enjoying her work. This is a gratifying outcome, therefore, no further action is recommended. The challenge of holding elected officials accountable to township policies is one that cannot be resolved with this investigation. Their fate must rest with the electorate or, for criminal offenses, removal by the governor. However, a more strongly worded code of ethics that each member of the Board of Trustees must sign annually to affirm their commitment to those standards may help. HRM Services also recommends that board members take full advantage of the training opportunities available through the MTA or consider bringing in an attorney experienced in township law to discuss the obligations and liability that board members face. During the investigation, it was noted that the employee policy had not been comprehensively reviewed and updated since April 2011. There have been several changes to state and federal law in the interim, and it is likely that the policies are no longer in compliance with current legal requirements. HRM Services recommends a comprehensive human resource assessment and review of the employee handbook, and the handbook be made available to employees in digital form. I apologize that I can't read the individual interviews that were completed because Mr. Cassidy's was quite interesting to say that he had never seen Mr. Gulka be disrespectful to anyone in the office. I think there's people on this board who have suffered at the disrespect of Mr. Gulka and Mr. Cassidy themselves, and I won't say I won't use the words that he and Jerry have referred to our clerk as because it's disgusting, but people heard it and people know, and I think it's despicable that someone that sits up here He sits up here and he's supposed to be a leader for this township, and he's anything but that. That's it. Merry Christmas. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting us, and
Thank you.
I'm sure there'll be people in the parking lot you might want to talk to when we're done.
Mr. Martin, anything you'd like to add?
So on our sewage plant on the island, I thought we were gonna have that started this fall. What happened with that?
Here's the situation, and this is your time to comment, but I'm going to answer your questions, Roy.
I appreciate that.
Better answers than I do, Roy.
Agreed to go with a single source, provided it was legally okay with the grant, and I
Right.
still haven't gotten that information yet.
All right.
And Benish gave us a contract, which I reviewed, and I thought it was no way we would sign that contract. We met with the township attorney, who very much stressed that he thinks that we should get another engineering company to review anything Benish wants to submit to us. And I don't disagree with that. And I think Ms. Rose and Ms. Hogan would agree with me that that's a good idea. Maybe they don't, but I thought it was. So it's not moving forward until we have a contract that we think we can rely upon and the authority from the state to do that. In the end, right, we may have to just have another engineering company draw everything up and put it out for public bid. I mean, that's really kind of, in the end, but I don't know that. Sorry, John.
No, I got a question. Didn't this board vote and approve the contract with Benish?
It gave me authority to sign it, but I'm not signing what they submitted.
That's not
because-
100% correct either. We voted on moving forward with the contract on approval from our lawyers.
And they would never approve that contract. And I looked at it, and it was wholly lacking in many respects.
Well, can I ask you this, because you communicated with Benish quite frequently? Did Benish do any work yet?
No.
Zero?
Well, they did their $20,000 feasibility study. That's what they've done.
So chalk that up, $20,000, guys, on top of the list of the things in the last year that we've wasted money on.
Yeah, well, maybe we should have done that study before we took the $2 million, John.
We haven't taken the $2 million.
Yeah, oh, really? All right, anything else?
Should I call Mr. Hertel and ask him that question?
Roy, do you have anything for this?
That's all I was wondering on that. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Ms. Hogan, anything you'd like to add?
Yes. First and foremost, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And over the election process, I was invited to a meet and greet, and I did attend. If I had any clue what I was getting into, I would have never gone. And yes, I did accept money from Mr. Cassidy to fund my campaign. I had no clue what type of person he was, but I was a young mom who wanted to move forward in her career, and I saw an opportunity, and I took it. Over the past year, the clerk's office has continued to carry out all of its statutory responsibilities while also absorbing a number of duties that properly fall under the supervisor's role. Although we remain committed to ensuring that the township operations run smoothly, this ongoing shift of responsibilities has resulted in a substantial increase in workload for the clerk's department. These additional jobs pull my staff and I away from the core functions we are legally required to perform and place an unsustainable burden on our office. If the teamwork was there between departments, this situation would not happen. I'm bringing this to the board's attention because this is not an isolated or occasional occurrence. It has become a constant pattern. To maintain efficiency and protect the integrity of the township, each department needs to fulfill their statutory duties. This will ensure township business is handled properly. I also want to state that I have met with Laura from PCE. They do have new owners, and they would like to oversee the algae wheel and like to be part of that process. So if we go out to bid, we can have our township engineer look over the process to make sure we're actually getting a contract and a plan that will work for the township. And again, everybody have a Merry Christmas.
Ms. Rose?
I'll just repeat, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Our township offices are closed on 12/24 and 12/25, and 12/31 and January 1st. If you want to pay your taxes in 2025, they must be paid by December 30th. That's our last day we're open. Anita and I will be open during lunch hour, so if you want to pay your taxes between 12 and 1 on that day, Anita and I will be here. Our reconciliations are done through May of 2025. Our audit is scheduled for January 20th of 2026.
What day was that, above?
January 20th,
Right.
2026. We've been really busting to get everything together. Some sad news, Coach Lenny Perkins, who taught and coached at Anchor Bay and at Algonac for over 40 years, passed away last week, so keep his family in your prayers. Captain Wally Wilhelm, he retired out of Selfridge and then was a captain for Chesterfield Fire, also passed away last week. I did pass along some information I've received from the bank on the end of the penny, and we will have to discuss and figure out how we are going to do our billings if people are paying with cash. This doesn't affect credit cards, debit cards, or checks. It does affect cash. We are limited on how many pennies we can get in coin exchange because we're not making pennies anymore. Let's go to rumors. I'm not asking for $80,000 a year. I didn't even ask for what I'm making. I have taken 3 classes, not 0. The pension I receive is one I paid for. Not living off the township and making rich sitting here. I put in pretty close to 12 to 13-hour days, 4 days a week. I come in on Friday, mostly to clean my office because it's a disaster. I have many projects going all at one time. It's what I volunteered to do. I take the job very seriously, and I want to get us back on track. I often joke with Tanya that we are like those married single mothers who have a partner who does nothing while we're trying to raise the kids and keep a job, and we're just waiting for the neighbors to call CPS on us. Because that's what our life is in the station. We're going to continue to work hard for you. We're going to come through the audit. Anything we learn from there is only good. The things that we have put in place, Christy put in place, Cindy put in place, those safeguards are only as good as the people sitting in the office. You cannot force somebody to do the right thing or to do their job. Have a wonderful holiday.
Thanks, Beth.
I want to thank Bev for that comprehensive report on your job. Thank you very much for doing all of that.
Don't call CPS on me.
And we had a lot of things that came on the table in the board comments. John, Sarah, Rory, of course, Tanya. I'm not going to try to even add to that, other than the fact that we have a lot of issues that were brought forward tonight, and hopefully with the supervisors and everybody else that we can get to the bottom of some of this stuff, especially the dredging, which bothers me because it never came before the Planning Commission, so I have no idea how that even occurred. But anyways, everybody have a happy Christmas and New Year. Thank you.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Sure, motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?